Hello everyone. Welcome to the fifth lecture of Power System Protection. In this lecture, we will discuss about the principle and working of overcurrent relays. So we have already seen that the current that is seen by the relay is I dash and the excitation current was IE. The total secondary current of the CT was IE plus I dash. So the CT secondary current which is seen by the relay I dash is the input to the operating coil of the relay. Now instantaneous overcurrent relays respond to magnitude of this input current, which means if magnitude of I dash is greater than a threshold value or a pickup value IP, then the relay contacts close instantaneously because the relay contacts are normally open. They the contacts close instantaneously without any time delay, because we say here it's an instantaneous overcurrent relay. That is why there are different types of overcurrent relays that we'll see, and based on what it is classified, that also we'll see. Now I'll repeat this again. Instantaneous overcurrent relays respond to the magnitude of their input current as shown by the trip region in this figure. In the figure here, you can see the vertical axis is imaginary I dash and the horizontal axis is real I dash. So the magnitude of I dash is root of imaginary I dash squared plus real I dash squared, which is somewhere here, we don't know, some vector whose tip, the tip of that vector can be outside this block region, or it can be inside the block region. As IP is represented by the radius of this circle, which represents the block region, and if the tip of this vector, which is the magnitude of I dash, the root of imaginary I dash squared plus real I dash squared, if that is inside this block region, then the relay will not the relay will not send a trip signal to the circuit breaker. If it is outside this circle, then it will relay a trip signal. Now what about if the current magnitude I dash exceeds a specified adjustable current magnitude IP called the pickup current? Then the relay contacts close instantaneously to energize the circuit breaker trip coil. And if I dash is less than the pickup current IP, then the relay contacts remain open, or it may block the trip coil. That is what is shown by these regions. This is the trip region and this is the block region. Okay, now there are time delay overcurrent relays also. They respond to the magnitude of their input current, but with an intentional time delay. This can be seen from this figure here, the block and trip region of time delay overcurrent relays or TDOC relays. Here you can see that the IP corresponds to the block region, the radius of the block region, right? The magnitude of IP corresponds to the magnitude of the radius of the block region. Then if I dash is greater than IP and if it is less than this circle, less than the magnitude of radius of this circle, or if I dash corresponds to this region, which is TD3, then the corresponding time delay TD3 will be the duration after which the circuit is isolated. Now, if I dash is still more than this, that is, if it is in this region where it is in the TD2 region, then the corresponding time delay is TD2. Now, if it is beyond that, then TD1 is the time delay. And you can see here TD1 is less than TD2 is less than TD3. That means if the magnitude of I dash is increasing, if the magnitude of I dash increases, then what happens is the time delay is decreasing, right? For the maximum I dash value, TD1 is the time delay, which is the smallest among TD1, TD2 and TD3, right? So this is what there is an inverse relationship between the time delay and the magnitude of I dash. Okay, now let's see these things from the text, what is written here. CT secondary current I dash is the input to the relay operating coil. Instantaneous overcurrent relays respond to the magnitude of this input current. If magnitude of I dash is greater than IP or the pickup current or the threshold value, then the relay contacts close. The normally open relay contacts close instantaneously. This can be seen from the figure on the protective system in the previous lecture. Then the circuit breaker trip coil is energized, but if magnitude of I dash is less than the pickup current, then the contacts are still open. So the circuit breaker trip coil is unenergized. Okay, now we have seen the trip region and the block region, and time delay overcurrent relays respond to the magnitude of their input current, but with an intentional time delay. The time delay depends on magnitude of I dash, implies if I dash is a large multiple of IP. Here, I dash is represented as multiple of IP. IP is the minimum current that is required for the relay to send a trip signal. So always I dash is represented as a multiple of this threshold value. Then time delay is small, because if I dash is a large multiple of IP, then time delay is small. If I dash is a small multiple of IP, then time delay is large, because there is an inverse relationship. Now, if I dash is less than IP, relay remains in blocking position itself or blocking region itself. This is the blocking region. Now, these relays have two settings. The normal relays have two settings, which are current tap setting and time dial setting. The current tap setting is the pickup current in amperes. The time dial setting is the adjustable amount of time delay. We will see that with an example. We will study this in detail with an example. Before that, we will just see the plot which is shown here. Let me minimize it. Let me zoom out. OK, here. OK, so here the horizontal axis is relay input current in multiples of current tap setting. That means relay input current is I dash. Multiples of current tap setting in the sense in terms of multiples of IP, right? I dash represented in terms of multiples of IP. That is in the horizontal axis. Now, what is on the vertical axis? Relay operating time itself, the delay time at which the relay sends a trip signal. Now, different characteristics are shown here corresponding to different time dial settings. So the current tap setting is shown here on the right side, 0.5, 0.6, 0.8, 1, etc. So this is basically the IP value or the threshold value or the pickup current. OK, so for these settings, different time dial settings are possible. For different time dial settings, different characteristics. That means for a particular current magnitude, I dash, which is represented as a multiple of IP, there can be different time delays for relay to act according to the time dial setting. The inverse relationship between time and current, it is different for different time dial setting characteristics here. We'll see this with an example. The Westinghouse CO8 time delay overcurrent relay characteristics is shown here. This is taken from the book of Power System Analysis and Design by Duncan Glover and Sharma and Thomas Overby. OK, you can go through it. Then the inverse time characteristics can be shifted up or down by adjustment of time dial settings here. By adjustment of time dial settings, the characteristics can be moved up or down. OK, the CO8 relay, let's see this example. The CO8 relay with a current tap setting of 6 amperes and a time dial setting of 1 is used with the 100:5 CT in the previous example. Previous example in the sense the example in which we analyzed the performance of CT. 3 values of I dash were given. I think the values were 5 amperes, then 8 amperes and 15 amperes. For those values, we are asked to find here the relay operating time for these I dash values. And the CT ratio is given and the current tap setting or the pickup value is also given time dial setting is also given. So we have to use the plot from the Westinghouse CO8 relay, and we have to find the time delay. So let's see what is happening here. In the first case, I dash equals 5 amps. So I dash by IP is 0.83. That means I dash should be represented in terms of multiples of IP, right? So 0.83 times IP is I dash. So we have to see in the plot, in the horizontal axis, we have to take the point 0.83. For 0.83, you can see here, it does not touch anywhere because the first point starts for the time dial setting is given as 1 in the question. So the second curve is what we are looking upon now. So this curve starts at this point, right, at 6 seconds. But for 0.83, it is less than 1, right? The multiple value is less than 1. Relay input current in multiples of current tap settings. This we obtained as 0.83. At 0.83, there is no curve, right? There is no time. So time is 0 here. So in this case, see figure 2, in which comparison of CO relay characteristic is shown. It shows the relay does not operate for 0.83. There is no time carrier at that part, right? So it will not operate. Once the relay starts operating, we can find the time delay using the characteristic. Okay, so when I dash equals 8 amps, I dash by IP is 8 by 6. That means IP into 1.33. 1.33 is the multiplication factor of IP to represent I dash. So 1.33 should be the value we should look for in the horizontal axis of the plot. So for 1.33, you can see here for 1.33, this is 1.5 maybe. This is 1.5, this is 2. So somewhere here 1.33, you get here 6, right? 6 seconds. It starts, the characteristic start from here. The characteristic corresponding to time dial setting 1. Okay, so 6 seconds is the time here. 6 T operating time is 6 seconds. Now in the third case, I dash equals 15 amps. It is again represented as multiple of IP. I dash by IP is equal to 15 by 6. IP is 6. It is given in the question, which is equal to 2.5. So corresponding to 2.5 on the characteristic time corresponding to time dial setting 1, we have to see, right, somewhere here 2.6. So here it will go. You are getting here 1.2. See here the points are not accurate, but if it is asked in the question paper, it will be given properly. The resolution will be properly marked. Okay, here I think the gaps are a bit wide, so in between points are not marked also, so it's a bit difficult to find the point. Anyway, from 0 to 1, I think you can use 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, like that. You can go up to 1. So this is 0.1. 1 unit is 0.1, 0.1 second. Okay, now what about figure 2? So this is figure 2 shows time over current carrier of 5 CO time delay over current relays used in transmission and distribution lines. This is figure 2. Okay, here this is figure 2, this one. In figure 2, you have multiples of pickup on the horizontal axis and time in seconds on the vertical axis. So different CO relay characteristics are shown, where CO6, CO7, CO8, CO9 and CO11. Okay, so now see the relay characteristics given here. CO6 is defined as definite time over current relay, because for CO6 the slope is very low, right? The slope is not that high, it is very low. That means for increased multiples of pickup current, almost the time is constant. It's not constant as such. There is a small inverted characteristic, but still it is almost constant. That is why this is a definite characteristic. Okay, now for CO7, the slope increases, right? Here you have a reduced slope, and here the slope increases for CO7. So that is why this is known as moderately inverse over current, inverse time over current relay. Now coming to CO8, what happens is it is an inverse time over current relay. For CO9 still the slope increases. So it is now very inverse over current time over current relay, and CO11 is the most inverted characteristic here, which is extremely inverse time over current relay. Okay, so we can have different time delays according to different characteristic. You should see the relay manual. At the time of design itself, it will be decided and it will be given in the manual accordingly. The for different magnitude of currents, the time delay of operation of relay will be decided. The time dial settings are such that all relays operate in 0.2 seconds at 20 times the pickup current, which means here you can see this is a multiplication factor. So 20 times the pickup current. At this point, the corresponding time delay is 0.2 for all relays, right? It coincides here, it intersects here. So it is the same 0.2. Okay, now the choice of relay time current Cara depends on source, lines and loads. Obviously, it depends on the capacity of the source, then the possible, because basically indirectly the capacity of source is what decides the fault current, and the line impedances, that is the design parameter of the line itself, then the loads also, the operating load also. Okay, these things decide the relay time current characteristic. So which relay should be used to protect that particular component, that is decided based on the nature of the source, lines and loads. Now CO6 and CO7 maintain a relatively constant operating time above 10 times the pickup value. CO6 and CO7 here. CO6 and CO7 about 10 times the pickup value, it has almost the same time delay, right? That is what is shown. Now, this is just an analysis. Okay, from the plot, how can we analyze the time delay and time delay based on the magnitude of the fault current? That is what is shown here. Now, CO8 and CO9, CO9 and CO11 operate respectively faster on high fault currents because it has a inverted Cara, right? It has extremely inverted Cara and very inverse and inverted characteristic, very inverse, extremely inverse and inverse time over current relays, right? 8, 9 and 11.